So here we go, aka powders. It's WILDSTORM Wednesday. We got box 1, got box 2, got box 3, we got box 4, got box 5, and box 6. We're going to get into all of these today. Welcome to one of the biggest video projects I've had in quite some time, aka powders. Keep in mind, everything you're about to see, it's unplanned. I'm winging it. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I really don't care. As you guys can see, we got 6 short boxes, that's what she said, coming to us. And it all features Jim Lee, WILDSTORM Productions, all the books, all the imprints, all the licensing, all the alumni. But just to give you guys a little bit of a preview, maybe see if you guys can figure out how to file these away in my WILDSTORM filing system. These are books. A lot of times I have books like float around. They float around because I'm either reading them, I'm putting them to the side so I have quick access for videos, all kinds of reasons. Some of these, like for example right here, are new editions. That might be a video too. I think I have a comic book haul video coming up. But just, and you know, we got some Rob Liefeld Extreme Studios here. They don't belong. Yeah, so let's do this. This is exciting. Bear with me. Grab yourself some coffee and let's go. Box numero uno. I didn't even check to see if the camera was positioned well enough. I think we need to focus. All right, guys. Well, we start out box 1. Before we get to any books, we get the ash cans. I collect every single WILDSTORM ash can. There's only a few I don't have. I guess like the big remaining holy grail is the Wildcats trilogy, the J. Lee. That was like ridiculously priced. It's come down since then, so be on the lookout. And for a little bit of WILDSTORM Wednesday knowledge, a lot of what you see from WILDSTORM Wednesday was inspired by this ash can. When again, like realizing the level of work that these guys were doing, you know, not given, I knew Jim Lee was involved, but just like the overall idea of what WILDSTORM later became, I wasn't very versed on its origins. And I decided to change that and document it for YouTube. So one thing I do with I use backing boards for dividers. I will put the range of a title. This helps me sometimes when I pull books and I give you guys dates for books and things. They're almost just like cliff notes. So like, for example, Backlash, 94 to 97. And yeah, we have like a very good run here. The 2 alternate covers for issue 1. You know, we don't do a lot of Savage Dragon on this channel for good reason, because we don't support comic book creators becoming pornographers and selling them back to kids. We don't like that. But yeah, Backlash 5, 6, got 2, 6, 7, 7, 8. The WILDSTORM Rising books are supposed to have trading cards, like right here, stitched into or like stapled into the binding. So sometimes I'll have doubles and I'll take out the trading cards. WILDSTORM Rising has 2 separate entries. There's the WILDSTORM Rising crossovers that are in each individual title, and WILDSTORM Rising itself has its own separate category. So Backlash 9, we're still in like the Brett Booth era here. Again, right, like always with the villain problem. What a cover here for issue 12. I realize I have this many duplicates. The reason why I have so many duplicates for Backlash is because I absolutely love the character. I think Backlash really might be the best designed WILDSTORM character. But I buy him whenever I see him. 17, 18, 19. So I don't have 20. We have 21, 22. This is where Javon Kirby, right over here. Oh, what's his name? I always forget his name. But he's got this like bigger, looser, cartoony style that, you know, that kind of, it's deadline, or this is a deadline oriented production here. So, you know, he kept the book alive. So I have this all the way up to 24, darker image. This is the black and white store retailer incentive exclusive. That's golden. The only other darker image I have is a water, like, look at this. I don't know if you guys can tell, but water damaged newsprint, newsprint, or news-stained new print edition. I don't have any of the direct editions for darker image. So Deathblow, again, 93 to 96. You guys have seen many of these. I've featured Deathblow so many times on this channel. We effectively did 1 through, you know, like all the Tim Sale stuff. So 1 through 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So these are a lot of the ones. I did want to get into when Deathblow is rolled a little bit more into the Wildstorm universe, into his death, which is a Fire from Heaven storyline. But Deathblow definitely, like Backlash, had a fall from grace. Wild Times. So Wild Times is a lot like Wildstorm Rising. I have 2 categories. If I have doubles of the individuals, they go into, yeah, the character slot. And if I don't, if I only have 1, they go into Wild Times. And if you're not familiar with Wild Times, they just did, like, you know, kind of like an Elseworlds type of thing. If you get bought by DC and DC editorial tells you this would be a good idea, you have to do it because it's a DC thing. DC is the king of the multiverse. Divine Right, featured on this channel. We have the preview, the American Entertainment preview. So these were spiking for a little bit. They've come down in price. I think this is issue 2 or 3. I keep it as issue 1. Yeah, issue 3. 1 magnificent chromium cover. Wildstorm doesn't have a lot of chromium. So we get 5, we get 6, we get 10. These are a little bit out of order. Number 2, number 4, number 11, number 12. Divine Intervention. I am waiting to do this crossover because this redefines the Wildstorm universe. 12. So we have these 2 trade paperbacks. This is what kicked off a lot of my understanding of Divine Right. And I was lucky enough to get these for like dirt cheap. I think I paid about $10 for both of them. And then since I had these, I backtracked into the individual issues. DV8, I'm in the middle of reading DV8 for the channel. We have all the versions, all the 8 covers for issue 1. Remember, DV8 had 8 covers because Gen 13 had 13 covers for their volume 2. DV8 is really, you know, guys, we have Ellis here. Ellis and Ramos, one heck of a read. Monthly, and then Hazler picks up, who was Wildstorm alumni. He picks up the book, sings, the book moves. DV8 is probably one of the best through lines that Wildstorm has, all the way into the New Horizons. We will detail this company-wide, you know, like rebranding, reintroduction event. But yeah, we have a lot of DV8. We have DV8 all the way, let's just check, 96 to 99. And DV8 Black Ops, we have to do. Look, DV8 has some decent annuals. Fire from Heaven, crossovers get their own category. 2, we have the prologue, we have 3, 14, 12, 6. These are all out of order. Chapter. Look, I mean, guys, I bought this at a destroyed bookstore here in Philadelphia, PA. But, you know, you see them, you buy them. The more beat up, the better. Chapter 4, Chapter 2, Chapter 1. So these are all backwards out of order. I was reading them recently. I thought I'd put them back here in order for the video. So we have Gen 12. You guys know Gen 13, wrapping up box number 1. Gen 12 is a huge, just dropped the book there, huge book because between Gen 12, Gen Active, and Team 7, there's a lot of contradiction. I'm trying to sort that out. Very confusing. Let's get Backlash back in here. We'll put the ash canes back. All right, well, not too bad. We're already on to box number 2. So some of these are more full and less full. The reason for that is, well, I keep them loose so I can flip through them and get them quickly. This is mostly a Gen 13 box. Gen 13, 1994 to 2002. You guys know I've been doing one heck of a Gen 13 deep dive. So I couldn't find this. Luckily, I was getting some things together for this video. Holy crap. I thought I had this. I couldn't find it. This was filed under Gen 12. It was a huge mistake there. I always kept it in the bag so I could just reference it real quick. And I didn't want it to get lost, but it did get lost. And I was literally on eBay looking at who had this so I could just order it and, you know, save myself a little bit of cash by being a little bit patient. So Gen 13, but the Gen Zine, we will profile this on this channel. What a amazing publication this is. So a lot of Gen 13 starts from the beginning. Inside Image, issue 6. We have it as Gen X. Then lawsuits came, shut it down. The famous miniseries, one of the best debuts in comic book history, J. Scott Campbell. And then we go right into 0, 1/2, issue 1, issue 1, issue 2. So we are rolling now with the Gen 13 monthly. So you guys know how I feel about this. We love Gen 13 for the first 2 years, even though they get crossovers like Fire from Heaven shoved down their throat, interrupting things, but we do get banger issues like 12 here, 13, A, B, and C, all here. Big crossovers there. 14, decent. 15, we start to waver here, but, you know, call back to issue 2 there. Look at Lynch. So, like, we're still in, like, the J. Scott attitude for Gen 13. And it's really not until we hit issue 25 with the Joe Mad cover. Where's the Joe Mad cover at? Right here. Sorry, Joe Mad is 26. This is the Gary Frank era. And as much as I love Gary Frank, I mean, you guys can see just by the covers. Like, we lose cabin pressure on the aesthetic of the book. And it is... Oh, Alexa, stop. Sorry, guys, had my timer on. This is one of the... this is just one of the weirdest pivots I've ever seen in comic book history. And it does pick back up with the Adam Warren run here, which I only have a few of. He's done more. But yeah, we get Gen 13 all the way deep here, guys. We get Unreal World, Ordinary Heroes. I believe one of these ran for about 13 issues. We have the like 2 straight Christmases. I wanted to bring this to you guys. Couldn't do it. The Christmas Carol. We have Grunge Saves the World by, you know, Kevin Altieri, who is a part of the Gen 13 animated movie and animation in general at the time. What is this? This is Gen 13 1. Oh, this is Rave, right? Gen 13 1, Rave. Yes. Always forget that one. So, again, Gen Active, as I referenced, because there's a lot of Gen Active that contradicts Origins of the Wildstorm universe. Gen 13 Carney Folk, we have Arthur Adams 3D special. We have volume 2 here. Gale's Chris Claremont, Ali Garza. Then we have some of the Gail Simone. I buy these just to read them. Yeah, and they're not bad. They're not bad reads, really. But is it the Gen 13 we want? That's always the question. We have the amazing Gen 13 archives here. This was impossible to get at one time. It does pop up from time to time. Be on the lookout for it. Then we have Grifter. We've done a well documentation on how Wildstorm handled the Grifter rollout. Very similar, if you guys want similarly metaphor here, we profiled Ripclaw recently for Top Cow Tuesday. Very similar, but Wildstorm, well, much better execution. Hazard, I think we've done Hazard on this channel, maybe. Hazard, Hazard's a Killer Instinct tour book. Then we have Kindred. We profiled Kindred here on this channel in detail. Kindred was took some time, 4 issues, and it crosses over very well with Wildcats, and it crosses over very well with Stormwatch. So this is what Mr. Majestic in 2 separate runs was better than Superman at the time, and this is all I have of any, and this is now when it's Wildstorm Universe. So Wildstorm becomes Wildstorm Signature and Wildstorm Universe when DC takes it over. A little bit confusing. Guys, we're already done with box 2. We're about to hit that halfway mark. Here we go. Not too bad. Okay, we have, I feel some movement. Savant Guard. I only have the Fane edition. I think these were sold in Hero Illustrated. And this is the dark time for Wildstorm. Very frustrating. And then we have, yes, we have Spartan. I only have issue 4 of Spartan. I thought I had more. I need 1, 2, and 3 for that. And look, it's Kirk Busiak and McCone here. Come on. And McKenna on the Yanks. So, big old run of Stormwatch. We have Stormwatch. Let's see. Yeah, 93. You know why? Because Stormwatch. We can just skip ahead a little bit here because we've done so much of these. But we have Stormwatch. It's effectively all the way up to Change or Die. I have 49 there. That's misfiled. So let's get to Stormwatch 50. See, there you go. 48. There we go. 48, 49. We got 2 49s. Okay. So Change or Die. This is where Stormwatch starts to become the authority. So they end it and they start with the volume 2. I always said I'm not interested in like moving into the authority. I was, if that James Gunn movie was like happening, or that DC Universe movie was happening, I think that got nixed. And I would be forced to do it. But for me, like, there is a true sweet spot. Stormwatch 1 through 25. We've done 25 on this channel. And then 26 on. So, and then like the book kind of like trails off in a very depressing way until 37. So like over, like maybe like a year and change till Warren Ellis takes over. And when Warren Ellis takes over, he brings this level of just like superhero drama that fit, but he does destroy the book. Because we never get Stormwatch again after Warren Ellis. We have some annuals, some specials, Stormwatch Special 2, Stormwatch Source Book. This is the only book I have of Volume 2. Bleed. Part 2 of 3. That is it. But guys, it got Brian Hitch. Team 7. Again, I got major holes in Team 7. That's preventing a lot of my... So, Gen Active and all of Team 7 and the Lynch miniseries and Gen 13, right? Like, I have like 4 or 5 major pieces to fill so I can bring you guys like the origins, like the in-script origins of the Wildstorm universe, including this, Stormwatch and Wildcats Team 1, a absolutely confusing read. You guys know I'm not a big fan of those. Okay, so we have Union. Here we go. So do I have Union 4? I recently just picked it up. I don't. Nope, I do. So I do have the 4-issue miniseries. These are recent. I did Union recently on the channel, just as like a one-off. So I can do 4, and then I believe there's an issue 0, and then it jumps into like a monthly. So again, confusing. I don't have all the monthly books. I think that goes up to 6 or 7. Voodoo Z-Lot Skin Trade. A lot of people don't reference this, but Steven Seagal too was really unsung hero for WildStorm. On his channel, we profiled between Top Cow Tuesday and WildStorm Wednesday. We profiled Ripclaw, Warblade, Endangered Species, or Warblade Endangered Species. And then way back, I want to say back when I used to live stream on Twitter, I did this. I did the Simon Bisley Warblade. Yes, Simon Bisley. Read the name. Bisley. Where Warblade is a tortured drunk artist. And they try and do the Lobo thing with him. Doesn't it? So, upcoming will be a deeper Stormwatch thread. Not Stormwatch, Wetworks, I'm sorry. We will be doing lots of Wetworks. I didn't realize I had this many of the Wolfsportacio puzzle piece. Oh my god, I got like 4 of those. I have a lot of the alternate covers or the variants. Look at that Joe Chire though. I think this was made into a poster. I need that poster. But yeah, we have a good, and you know, where's what? I don't have Wetworks. Oh yeah, here we go. Wetworks, 94 to 98. So I guess maybe. See, I got some of these missed. Here we go. That's Wildcore. Let's get Wetworks needs its. Here we go. Bingo. And then Wetworks goes right into, as you guys just saw, Wildcore. We have one bag. This has one amazing chromium cover. This is a Travis Sherry puzzle. So they've done 2 puzzle cover sets in this era of Wildstorm. You just saw one of them with Wetworks here. So they had Wolfsportacio. This got made into a poster. I still need that. The Travis Charest one got made into a poster, but this was for New Horizons. A little bit depressing because Wildcore was really, in my view, like the last good idea they had. Like, look at Topaz here. Backlash. They had Z-Lot on the team. They really, there she is right here. Look, Tapestry from Wildcats 9. Yeah, coincidentally, she's used in Wildcore 9. Like that symmetry there. Guys, frustrating book here because it was good run. Wildstorm was just trailing off at the time, though. Alright, so I think we're out of the Wildstorm universe, and maybe we can get a little bit quick on just some of the Wildstorm publishing. So we have box 4 here. And, oh, we have Wildcats. Okay. Duh. Okay. Give me one second, guys. I'll be right back. And we are back. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I get calls, emails. People come to my door. People bug the hell out of me. I just had a neighbor come by. I wanted to drop something off. It's funny when you're talking to people at the door and you can tell that they're trying to look in because they're seeing, because I'm recording and they can hear a little bit what I'm talking before they walk up. And they're trying to figure it out. So the biggest gap I have in all of my Wildcats is I don't have the gold edition, which was which is this cover but gold embossed. It came in 2 versions, signature, not signature. I believe the signature was sold at retail. The other one was given out to comic shops that ordered a particular amount. We have a couple variations of Wildcats 1. Like, for example, see, like, we have the 2 separate trading cards here. So there's quite a few variants for Wildcats 1. But hey, give us a lot of variants because, everyone loves variants now. I don't have that, and I don't have the Wildcats Ash King. I have my original Wildcats trade paperback. Look at this sucker. before there was a Wildstorm Wednesday. We got the Wildcats Ace Edition from Wizard 69, the greatest Wizard issue of all time. And then like we roll right into the 4-issue miniseries. We roll into the monthly. Remember, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is monthly. There's number 9. Oh, was it 11? It was 10. That's Tapestry. Sorry. Gotta know your Wildcats. So the goal is to profile up to issue 25. And to kind of, so, you know, again, like Alan Moore comes on board and he takes the team off-world, which is fine. And then we have got, look, like, again, people forget that Brain and Chow, even though the artwork kind of lingered as a lot of the later Wildstorm books did, the writing in a lot of cases, and if you guys want to talk more about Joe Mad, here's another Joe Mad cover. Chow here did a bang-up job going all the way into issue 50. And do I have 50? Yes. So 50 has a few different editions. We have Jim Lee in here. You know, like this is kind of a party comic. Everyone has a few pages or a little bit of a story. Then we have the Wildcat Special, which is effectively, wow. So look at this. I rebought the same. We'll save this for the Joe Mad alumni section then. Because Joe Mad did the cover. So I don't have the Wildcats source book issue 1. Isn't that crazy? Wildcats trilogy. So the goal is, with a lot of the other stuff, to do 1 through 25 like in detail, and to break off chunks for 25 through 50. Because when Wildcats wraps up, and we never even touched on, well, I didn't do Wildcats trilogy yet for this channel because so many people have done Wildcat trilogy videos, but I think it's time to do this because who better to explain how this falls into Wildcats monthly better than myself, Peter A. DeLuca, your host. Wildcats Adventures. This is what I consider to be their greatest publication, the most important publication, because it's clearly tied to the Saturday morning cartoon. Very important. We have all of those. And then we get into Wildcats Homecoming. These are the Alan Moore trades. Gang War. And you guys can kind of see, just by flipping through this, when I say that Alan Moore took out the Wildcats and Wildcats, that's kind of what I mean. Where it just, the book changed. And again, he changes it in such a way that it's hard for them to go back to. So much so, when they reboot the series and they have, Loeb Dell here, who does very nice job, they just continue the Wildcats, like, Alan Moore stuff. He did the same thing with Youngblood. And in my view, Youngblood never got back to it. But then we have the amazing Joe Casey run 3.0. Very overlooked now. I bought this as a set. This is like kind of the new era of Wildstorm. You can see the logo here. This, I don't know how I will profile this on the channel, but I am a huge Joe Casey fan at this time. What he does with this volume is awesome. And then we kind of have like another volume 1, another volume 1. We have like 3 other volume 1s, another volume 1 here. This is the Brett Booth embossed cover. Like, so many volumes. Then we have the Wildstorm 4-issue mini. We profiled that on this channel. We have the Wildstorm Spotlight with the Alan Moore Mr. Majestic story. This is what a lot of people consider to be the greatest single issue story of all time. And then, as you guys can see, we have Wildstorm Rising all the way through. A lot of these have the trading cards still stapled into the spines. We have the very rare Wildstorm Rising trade paperback. So rare, when I read it, if you guys can see, pages fall out. But who the hell cares? This was like $100 at one time. I was reading it like that when it was $100. I don't care. I gotta read. Like, who wants bags and boards? I think that freaked out some people when they saw my Top Cow Tuesday. And then to wrap up, to wrap up Wildstorm again, while the Wildstorm universe, we have Zalot issues 1 and 3, and I haven't brought this to you guys, even though I've read both of these. This is not bad. This is pretty solid. I don't have issue 2, so we gotta wait for that. So let's get into box 4, which should be us drifting out of, or box 5. I'm sorry. We're drifting out of everything Wildstorm universe. So this is what I have of that connecting cover by Wells Portacio. I'm missing 2 of them, I believe. We have Wildstorm loose ends here, like the source book, Homage Studios Swimsuit Editions, Wildstorm Universe 97, Wildstorm Chamber of Horrors. We profiled that. We profiled the rarities. I think I even did the winter special because this has some decent stories. This actually has a Jim Lee death blow in here, right here. Like, really cool stuff. Devil's Night. I don't know if I did that. Wildstorm Thunder book. Again, too, like I give the publishing of Wildstorm a lot of credit because throughout the years, they've tried so hard to get like new talent and new ideas out there. They're one of the biggest names to try and do that outside of Marvel and DC. Wildstorm Universe 0, Art of Homage, we've done that on this channel. Wild Worlds, Alan Moore. Spotlight. So these spotlights, I have a list of them. I did want to bring them all to you. They're just collections of artwork with some notes and production annotations. Really cool stuff. Just again, like brings you back to that early 90s Wildstorm that we love. Profiled a lot on this channel. Wildstorm Archives, everything's black and white. We love this book. Buy it. One of the things that jump-started Wildstorm Wednesday was me going through this 25th anniversary hardback and kind of realizing too how far Wildstorm has come, and to where, again, reading this, where I'm like, wow, yeah, I kind of wish it was a certain way. I had the Wildstorm Dream War, like, still bagged. Never even, like, went through this. I just bought this because, one of my local shops had it for $6. I bought it just to have it. I profiled Future State, Future Gotham 8. This is the death of Grifter. And I did a video on this. And I put it up on the Wildstorm Facebook group. And the admin gave me so much crap because I did spoilers. And I'm like, you're a adult. What do you care about spoilers for? Anyway. Then we have the Wildstorm crossovers. Backlash, Spider-Man, Deathmate, all of Deathmate's here, Gen 13. So do I have the Gen 13 Fantastic Four? I do. So this is going to be coming up. We will do this around July. I'm going to put this to the side already. Gen 13 Max, we've done that on this channel. Oh, wow. And Gen 13 Superman. We will do that on this channel. So, July, 2 of the Wildstorm Wednesdays in July might be, in fact, Wildstorm Wednesdays. Here we go. This is such a good, these are some great one-shots. This is some of Jim Lee's absolute best work. It's like my favorite layouts. X-Men Wildcats. There's a much better Jim Lee cover for this. I can never find it. But the Golden Age, Scott Lobdell, Travis Charest, top notch. And then no one talks about the Dark Age and the Modern. So there's 2 more of these. I don't have them. One's Modern Age, one's Dark Age. No one talks about those. Those are equally as, especially the Dark Age one, really cool. Team X, Team 7. Wolverine, Deathblow. JLA, Wildcats. Grifter, Mask. Bad Rock and Company featuring Grifter. all the crossovers. Grifter Badrock, Grifter She, Wildcats Aliens. I need another one of these because I have to have one of these around the time of Stormwatch Volume 2. This is where they kill all of Stormwatch. See? They kill all of Stormwatch between issues 10 and this. So 10 and 11, this floats in the middle. This is in the membrane, if you guys are familiar with Authority speak. This is one of the greatest comic book crossovers of all time. Also, this has a better alternate cover. Stormwatch dies off the pages. And they kill Stormwatch, and they bring in the Authority, effectively. Spawn Wildcats, I have yet to read this. Then we have some of those Wild Times I talked about earlier. We have Action Zone, CBS Action Zone presents. Amazing Jim Lee cover there. Look, one of the few times Jim Lee has drawn the Skeleton Warriors. No, you thought I was going to say Turtles. Skeleton Warriors. Yeah, Toy Fair 95. This is what they gave out to promote the toy line. Like, these are very important. Again, like some of the most important stuff you can have. Look, they're pushing the Jim Lee designed Turtles here. We never got the Leonardo, but I think bootleggers have made it. C-23, one of their biggest failures. We have all of that. Planetary. I started buying and bringing you guys Planetary. There's another 2 hardbacks somewhere. I can't find them. There's 4 Planetary hardbacks. Each one's a separate color. All for John Cassidy, though. You guys know we're still doing a deep dive on Cassidy. And then this might be like WILDSTORM Publishing, a WILDSTORM signature. Odds and Ends. Hawkmoor, The Intimates, which was Joe Casey, Jim Lee. The Highwayman, I think that was optioned for a movie. Monster World, Red Herring, Twilight Experiment, Jimmy Palmiotti. This is based on a novel. I never read the book. I've read some of this, though. This is good, though. I give credit to Palmiotti. There's a few times I give credit to Palmiotti, and you guys can see. See, now it's WILDSTORM Signature Series. Thunderbolt Jackson. Never read this. You know why? I hate the covers. But it's Dave Gibbons. I just hate the covers for this. Red. And yeah, it's just Red. This is not the flip book. Red is to be profiled separately on this channel. Astro City, Homage. We have Women with St. Keith. And then we get into Cliffhanger. So we can pull in some of our cliffhangers that we just got here. Danger Girl. I have so few of all the Cliffhanger. I just throw them in here for now until I can get more. Not bad, though. Wow, that was a lot of issue for. I just buy Cliffhanger whenever I see it. So, the final box. If you guys want an encore to this, let me know in the comments. Because I got something for an encore. WILDSTORM licenses. Thundercats. Future Cop, which is a Ron Lim. You might want to say, outside of Ron Lim's early Silver Surfer work, this might be his most distributed book ever, as of like highest print run. Thundercats. So there's another. I got Dogs where we have it all here, but there is like another series that I saw that I have to research. So I might be missing one of the Thundercats series. Ninja Scroll. A lot of people told me Ninja Scroll was good. But we have, like, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. Oh, jeez. We're all mixed up. We got more Thundercats, Dogs of War. Speed Racer presents Racer X. The Tommy Yoon. More Thundercats just randomly mixed in. I think there's like a villains miniseries or something. This is Hammerhead's Revenge. So, okay. So, the licensing is a complete mess. So, we have Heroes Reborn. We do so much Heroes Reborn. But, guys, you know, we're just going to file these away right here. That's, you know, actually, we're going to wait until we're done because that's going to make the box a little tight. But you guys know how I feel about Heroes Reborn. Heroes Reborn will be coming in both phases. Actually, maybe 3. The Jim Lee phase, the post-Jim Lee, and the crossovers. Yes, Heroes Reborn has Heroes United, one crossover, and the second crossover is World War III. Then we get Heroes Reborn Iron Man, Wells Portacia. One of my all-time favorite covers is right here. I just love how the Hulk is just like handling Iron Man like a toy. Love that. So yeah, we got some good stuff there for Heroes Reborn. So I have, again, like the Avengers part, because you're like, Pete, those were Rob Liefeld and Extreme Studios. Yes, but Jim Lee took it over, so I need some of those. So then we have Jim Lee Alumni, which this is where we're going to put some of the floating Punisher War Journals. We have Jim Lee Alpha Flight. Almost all of it. Right, come on guys, look at that. Jim Lee Alpha Flight, then we get Punisher War Journal. 1, 2, 5, 6, 4. Another 8, another 9, another 10. These are just some of his covers. He's cover artist at this time. But we're going to put 6, 7, and 8 back in there. Right, and Punisher War Journal number 6 as referenced in the movie Mallrats. Jim Lee X-Men. You got, I mean, do I need to show off any Jim Lee X-Men? But we got it. Not all the keys though. No, we don't have like First Omega Red. Jim Lee on RoboCop 2. Jim Lee on Savage Dragon. Jim Lee on Ultraverse Premiere. Jim Lee on Hardcore. Jim Lee's Kyle Rayner redesign is one of the better DC redesigns. Is that also one of Jim Lee's best designs ever? Jim Lee Juggernaut cover there for What If. Jim Lee, just more and more Jim Lee. We buy Jim Lee whenever we come across a cover or a book by Jim Lee. You know, you guys know we just did Hush, Jim Lee Wizard Magazine. We have Jay Scott. We have this awesome Butcher. Like, this is a Jay Scott cover, guys. And it is like maybe his worst cover. Good to have that one. We got not a lot of Jay. Then we have Travis, Charest. We have Joe Chiodo. Here's one of his art books. Scott Clark, Star Gods, Scott Clark Cable, Scott Clark Cable, Scott Clark X-Men, Scott Clark Alpha Flight, Brett Booth. We really just have one Brett Booth, Justice League issue 5, and Wells Portacia. We have Uncanny X-Men 281, 289. Some great black and white artwork here for X-Men Revolutions. And you guys here, like, look at, where's that? That's Len Francis. Where's our boy? Where's he at? Hold up here. There he is. He takes over X-Force. And this is a cool era of the X-Books. This is really, they went hardcore with the black leather. So we got a new edition here. We got X Factor 63. So those go here. Since we're done with this box, let's just slip in. That's what she said. Right here. Heroes Reborn. And then when it comes to alumni, the Joe Mad, I don't have Joe Mad. I have a separate artist section for Joe Mad. So I would need duplicates of everything I have for Battle Chasers. But this one will go into my Joe Mad because I have a separate artist box. And then Encore. Well, how do you guys like some magazines? So we have the Diamond Previews here. This is, you know, when they first announced. Let's see if we can find it real quick. Guys, I love the old Diamond Previews. I have such a big stack of them. Where is there's a Gen X ad right here. So this is probably like the biggest, like just when it comes with the history of Gen X. But when it comes to Gen X, this is the Gen 13 font for this book. This is a book. And this is what I feel like inspired Gen 13 down to the font. We also have the WILDSTORM Productions Resident Evil magazines. These have ridiculously priced right now. I think issue 1 of those. And then we have Conjure magazine. These are articles, but I have cards illustrated because we have a Jim Lee interview. I need to do more of a deep dive on outside publications, but this is kind of like the start of that. I have to get back into that. I don't even have an active list, but oh, check this out though, right? Like this is running a studio. This is running a company to where you get an opportunity for Contra Magazine to put you on the cover, and you're like, hey, can you make it gatefold? And they're like, yeah, we'll sell double the advertising, and yeah, like you have a company, and your company can produce this. Again, like these are the things we want to say. So and then previously, it's 3D Wildstorm action figures. We're not going to do that today. And then it's the Wildstorm trading cards. That's a separate video.